Hello, family. Welcome back to the African Diaspora News channel. I am Wongel Zelalem, and today we have a lot to talk about. Basically, it's the world is looking like Trump versus everyone else. So I don't know if you've been following the Davos meeting that's happening in Switzerland. It is the World Economic Forum. Let me just say it has been satisfying to watch because of all the drama, all the back and forth, all the hating and snapping at each other. And, the common denominator from this meeting and the person of interest is none other than President Donald Trump of America. He is creating drama more than any reality show I've ever watched. He definitely knows how to get um, people, how to get a rise out of people, but also it's not lost on me that this same leaders, world leaders, specifically European leaders, including Canada, um, were very much so okay and silent when Trump was starting drama and starting a fight, a war, whatever you may call it, in other countries and claiming other countries' oils, claiming other countries' lands. They were okay with it. They were quiet, right? But when it came knocking at their own door, now they want to talk about values and principles and allies and relationships. And, you know, we need to respect each other and there needs to be law, rule of law. My goodness. Where were you when he was knocking at other people's doors, breaking it down, taking an actual sitting president? You were quiet. You were silent. In fact, you were consenting to it because you're not saying anything publicly. And by the way, Trump is just, I don't know, he's on a league of his own because he, right before the the World Forum meeting, he released a screenshot of a chat that was sent to him. Not just one person, but I want to focus on one person that he exposed. That is President Macron of France. And can you imagine this? This is a president that we're talking about. He leaked, not leaked actually, he posted on his own X account the conversation he had with Macron, the message President Macron sent to him. Here it is. You can't make this stuff up. So it says, from President Macron to President Trump, my friend. And he starts with my friend. It's just so ridiculous. Anyways, let's just read it. My friend, we are totally in line on Syria. We can do great things on Iran. I do not understand what you're doing on Greenland. Let us try to build great things. I can set up a G7 meeting after Davos in Paris on Thursday afternoon. I can invite the Ukrainians, the Danish, the Syrians, and the Russians in the margins. Does he mean meetings? I'm not sure. So let us have a dinner together in Paris, together on Thursday before you go back to the US. Goodness. You can't make this up. So Trump posted this screenshot and he wrote, note from President Emmanuel Macron of France. And like this specific screenshot, for example, like, of course, I want us to talk about the meeting, how the World Economic Forum went in Davos, and how the leaders are basically saying, some of them are saying, talking about him without saying his name, but some are directly addressing him, and you can tell that he got in their nerves. Like, there's no denying that. But about the screenshot, it tells you everything you need to know about the double standards of these nations. They do not care about democracy. They do not care about sovereignty unless and otherwise it's theirs. They don't care. right? He's saying, I'm in line with Syria, I'm in line with Iran, but come on, man. Like when it comes to Greenland, they're like, come on now, that's where we draw the line, right? So it's the hypocrisy is apparent. We know that there's a hypocrisy, that we know that there's double standards, but seeing it play out in front of our eyes is just satisfying at the same time, because you can clearly see they feel like they've been backstabbed, right? This reminds me of the quote, um, there is no honor amongst thieves, right? Like they really thought that, since they did what they did to other countries together as a unit, right? They're allies, they're friends, they're partners. He will not do that to to them. But yeah, Trump doesn't care, right? So yeah, they feel offended. They feel almost like hurt, right? But yeah, I want to play for you. I'm seeing some people have already watched Trump's speech. I think it was like almost an hour. He addressed them, and he in the best, Trump style, and nothing different there. He's not gonna tone it down or tweak it for diplomacy's sake. That's not his forte. But this is what oh, before the World Forum summit, I want to show you what a lawmaker, a UK lawmaker, said about Trump.
President Trump is acting like an international gangster, threatening to trample over the sovereignty of an ally, threatening the end of NATO altogether, and now threatening to hit our country and 7 European allies with outrageous, damaging tariffs unless he gets his hands on Greenland. This is an incredibly grave moment for the United Kingdom, Europe, and our world. Without provocation or justification, the President of the United States is attacking our economy, our livelihoods, and our national security. Trump has put British businesses and jobs on the front line in his unprovoked aggression. The only people cheering him on are Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Only a few months ago, Trump hailed the special relationship at Windsor Castle. Now, thanks to his actions, it is nearly in tatters. So how do we stop Trump's damaging trade war? For a year now, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Prime Minister has tried a policy of appeasing Trump, flattering him, fawning over him, refusing to stand up to him, because, he argued, otherwise Trump would hit us with damaging tariffs. Well, the Prime Minister has tested his approach to destruction. It has failed. It is time for the government to change course. We have to finally be clear-eyed about the sort of man Trump is and treat him accordingly. He is a bully. He thinks he can grab whatever he wants, using force if necessary. And he is corrupt. The most corrupt president the United States has ever seen. So there are only 2 ways of getting him to back down: bribing him with a new jet perhaps, or a few billion in his crypto account, or standing up to him like we would with any other bully, standing together with our European allies to make him back down. That's the choice. Which one, Foreign Secretary?
Okay. That is UK lawmaker Edward Davey, and well, clearly he's not very happy with him, and he stated that Trump is a bully. But they were never saying that when, he was meddling in other countries' businesses and politics and sovereignty and resources. But all of a sudden now it's like, whoa, Trump is a bully. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, what changed? What changed? The only thing that changed is who he's targeting, right? So yeah, he got them crying and even cursing. Oh my goodness, let me show you this one. This is the wait, let me get this right. This is the Danish member of European Parliament, Adair. Watch this.
Put this in words you might understand. This in words.
He starts by saying, let me put this in words you might understand.
You might understand. Mr. President, fuck off.
I told you he got them acting so foolish. Like this guy was even cursing, right? And so there's many more we're gonna watch from the World Economic Forum. But you know what the interesting part is? Before I forget, Trump announced this peace treaty. What is it called? Wait, Board of Peace. Board of Peace. And he's urging and calling for permanent members and the countries that are willing to join this peace Board of Peace treaty, they are going to have to pay $1 billion to secure a permanent seat, like to be part of that treaty. And only, I believe, a few countries agreed or showed interest in joining. Countries like, I believe, a few Middle Eastern countries, if I'm not wrong, and others like Russia. By the way, the irony is Trump and the world leaders tell us like Russia is this horrible country, horrible nation. Their president Putin is this and that, right? That's what we hear every single day on mainstream media. Even when they're having their meetings, China and Russia are always mentioned. The fact that they're threats, right? So he comes up with this peace treaty, right? And he invites Putin to be part of it. Like, so guess what Putin said? It's in Russian and in his language, so I didn't bring that video here for you. But he says he responded to the invitation and he said, "Thank you, President Trump, for inviting me." Russia is willing to contribute to this peace thing, and we're willing to give the 1 billion, but the 1 billion has to come from the frozen assets the U.S. government has, taken from Russia, and they basically froze it so they can't use it anyways. So it's like, you can take it from that. Like, he even made a joke out of it. Like, it's very clear, as much as they paint a picture of like this enemy, it feels like that governments respect Putin more than, like, clearly you can see that Trump respects President Putin more than Zelensky. Remember when Zelensky traveled to the US, how he hounded him and treated him, mistreated him, didn't let him speak. He was treating him basically like, I don't know, I don't want to say, like subhuman, right? But when President Putin traveled, he was given a ride in President Trump's car. Red carpet was set up for him. So it's like, we shouldn't listen to what they're saying, but watch what they're doing. Instead of listening to them, watching what they're doing and how they're acting will tell us more about how they see each other and what actually is going on behind the scenes, in my opinion. So this one cracks me up. It really, really cracks me up because, if you've been watching the news, I'm pretty sure you've heard President Donald Trump talking about this Nobel Peace Prize once or twice, at least. For me, I hear it all the time because, like, it's my job to just catch up on what is happening. He's so concerned. He wants that Nobel Peace Prize. I believe it's in his bucket list, or growing up, it was in his vision board. You know how many of us have a vision board and we put up like how much money we want to get, which country we want to go to, or our heroes, what we want, like a vision list, right? Something you would like to do before you die. So I highly suspect that has been a dream of Donald Trump, to have a Nobel Peace Prize. And that's why he's always putting himself in between countries like Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo. And he's like, I am mediating this. There's peace. Like, I've done this. Yay. And then the next day there's there's an actual war and no peace has come about, or he'll try to insert himself between Egypt and Ethiopia and say, I want to mediate about this Nile GERD dam, stuff like that. So he really, really deeply from the I don't think he wants anything more than he wants this Nobel Peace Prize. And he was not given, as you know, like he was not given. He was upset about it to the point where he, I don't know if I want to call it blackmail, but he definitely made her feel like she has to do this. The recent award went to the Venezuelan lady, and that's another conversation on its own. Does she deserve it or not? But she's like, I want to give Donald Trump this Peace Prize. So he wants that Nobel Peace Prize, whether it's rightfully the right way given to him or he takes it from someone else. And even though she offered to him, the Nobel Peace Prize came out and said, we don't agree with this because it's a rule, like it can't be transferred. The Peace Prize, it's yours. So he's done everything he can to have that Peace Prize, but it doesn't look like it's happening, right? Especially with how he's acting. Like, I don't even know how he thinks he can be considered. So now he's targeting the country, Norway, because the Nobel Peace Prize is located or is given in Norway. So he's been calling out the Norwegian prime minister. His name is Jonas Gahr. He's been calling him out. He's been naming him. He's been saying, I know it's you that don't want me to have this. And, and this is the response the Norwegian prime minister gave.
And you heard on Greenland, you heard my position. I don't need to repeat that. I find it unacceptable to take land from other countries. I believe that the big challenge we have in front of us now is Ukraine. It's a very dramatic war going on with huge ramifications. It's very bad for Ukraine, of course, but also dangerous for Europe, for the US, for world peace. That's really what we need to look into. And this Peace Prize thing, I have repeated, I've told President Trump many times that the Nobel Committee is an independent committee. It is staunchly secretive about the way it works. I am informed about the Nobel Prize alongside the rest of the world at 11 o'clock on that day in October. That's how it is.
Here's what he said about...
So basically, this man is saying, I am not in charge of giving away that award. I don't even know when they're giving it away. Like, I just know the time, and I'm surprised, just like anybody else, when they announce it. So it's not me. I'm not the one that is making the calls, is what he's saying. He really sounds like he's even pleading with him. And I want you to notice how he visibly sighs when the reporter asks him this question. Listen to this.
Prize alongside the rest of the world at 11 o'clock on that day in October. That's how it is.
Here's what he said about you and your role in it yesterday on his way to Davos.
Don't let anyone tell you that Norway doesn't control the shots, okay? It's in Norway. I lost a lot of respect for Norway.
How do you have a relationship with, deal pragmatically and diplomatically with a person who talks like that?
I'm Prime Minister of my country. As I say, we may be a small country, but we are a proud country, and we stand for our values, we stand for our procedures, we stand for our institutions.
Diplomatically.
But did you see that
person who talks like that?
I'm Prime Minister of my country.
I just want you to look at his side right here. You don't even have to listen to what he's saying. Just watch his body language.
Respect for Norway.
How do you have a relationship with?
That deep breath before he can answer is just so real. That's how I think most of them feel at this point. But then again, this is, the wolf that they have fed. This is the same, person that they allowed to do whatever he wants to do in other countries, in other nations. It's just now it's knocking on their door and they do not like it. And there's a fable. And it goes like this. Injustice it wasn't wrong until it happened to you, right? Like there's this parable, I forget where it comes from, but there's a fire that was started in a village, and I believe this is an African proverb. I could be wrong, but a fire started in a village, and the man saw that it was like 10 houses further from his house. So it's like, it's okay, and it started burning and burning. He kept looking, it's burning the next house. He's like, not my business. Why should I bother about what's happening over there? They're crying, they're asking for help, they're saying, please, let's put out this fire. He never responded because he's like, it's not really like my business because it's not affecting me. And then the next day, the fire continued and came to his house. And when it was burning his roof and he's screaming, asking for help, no one answered because the village has turned into ash. He never helped those people. So now when it's his turn, no one is there to help him. So it's very accurate in this case as well. They never bothered to stand up for what is right, talk about certain things, address them. They benefited actually from some of his actions. Now that it's backfiring, they want to cry wolf. And I don't think I don't think a lot of other leaders care about what's happening right now with their situation. Let me show you another. This is Canadian Prime Minister, what he had to say.
Every day, we're reminded that we live in an...
Can you hear it? Oh, I don't know why it's not playing. Oh, I thought I had it. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. I don't know what happened. It was not playing. I wanted you to hear what he had to say.
The strong can do what they can, and the order is fading. That the strong can do what they can, and the weak must suffer what they must. And this aphorism of Thucydides is presented as inevitable, as the natural logic of international relations reasserting itself. And faced with this logic, there is a strong tendency for countries to go along to get along, to accommodate, to avoid trouble, to hope that compliance will buy safety. Well, it won't.
More than 60 wars in 2024.
So before I let Macron play, have you heard Trump's speech? And if you did you hear him mention Macron's sunglasses? You gotta admit, it was funny.
An absolute record, even if I understood a few of them were fixed. And conflict has become normalized, hybrid, expanding into new domains, space, digital, information, cyber, trade, and so on. It's as well a shift towards a world without rules, where international law is trampled underfoot, and where the only law that seems to matter is that of the strongest, and imperial ambitions are resurfacing. Obviously, the Russian war,
How rich, honestly, coming from President Macron, talking about imperialism and talking about how it shouldn't be, the strongest, preying on the weakest. Come on. Come on now. That is hilarious coming from him, honestly. But let me show you the last clip, and this is from, by the way, for those of you maybe wondering, why is he wearing sunglasses in a room in this meeting? He says it's because he has a condition and his eye was turning red, so something like that. Some people were claiming that maybe it was his I'm not going to go there. So let's watch the Chinese, what they had to say. There's a subtitle. Hopefully you can read it. If you can't, and if it's too small, I can read it out loud for you.
应当人人平等，极少数国家不应当有基于实力的特权。
Yeah, so what he's saying is a very small number of countries should not have privileges based on strength.
世界不能
The world cannot return to the law of the jungle, where the strong prey where the strong prey on the weak.
重新回弱肉强食的丛林法则，各国都有权维护自身的
Every country has the right to safeguard its legitimate interests.
正当权益。中国
China has always attached importance to promoting the common prosperity of its trading partners through its own development. Anyways, even China had to chime in. And yeah, pretty much this is what's been happening. I don't know. I found it entertaining and funny. It was just interesting for once to just sit back, watch these nations that terrorize the rest of the world together, now going at each other's throat, basically. Let me get into the chats. We have a lot of chats here. Assess or trend, said just finished watching news about Donald Trump bullying world. Yep. Brian said politicians do a lot of virtue signaling while their actual actions suggest their real interest, intentions, and agenda. True. I am doing well, General. I am doing very well, actually. Hi, Susan. A general said, I was just watching Trump's speech. Well, I'm pretty sure you found it entertaining as well. And if you're American as well, you should be a little bit scared as well, because he is pushing away a lot of the allies, right? And I'm pretty sure that's going to have an impact and it's going to backfire eventually. So, yeah. General said he's waving his little finger or trying to. Hello, power players. General said 1 hour and 12 minutes. Yep, that was a long address. Brian said Brigitte Macron is nearly 25 years older than her husband, Emmanuel Macron, with their significant age gap being a well-known aspect of their relationship, which is true. Wamo said don't show him the green chairs. Power players, sorry. Brian said stir up chaos and take what you want in the confusion. Well, I'm not sure if this created confusion, because it really made it clear to them that one leader can just come. You know, all of them were allies and NATO and blah, blah, blah. And then this one leader came, Trump, and he just was like, I don't care. I don't care if on Article 5, and this is Article 5 of NATO, this is what it says. And I quote, an armed attack against one NATO member shall be considered an attack against them all, end quote. So it's like, I don't care. So they're like, I guess like we're not as solid as we thought. So it's definitely going to now change things. And this it's going to be different, in my opinion. We'll see. Carlfer said, Trump done made the white bulls mad. Brian said, it's the clearest sign your ability to act against the person depends on the degree to which you dislike them. If someone is your closest friend, you are extremely disincentivized to act against them. The general said, did England forget it was a super imperialist? All of these countries, all of these nations now acting like holier than thou and being shocked that America is doing this. They did it before, right? Like they're the blueprint. General said, I'm watching everything. Very entertaining. This should be called International Gangsters. That's entertaining for sure. Game they enjoy. Wamo said it's all about game. They enjoy beer together off camera, which is true. Most of the people were looking behind the scenes, they're cool. But Trump literally is also sharing their screenshots. Of course, they're buddy-buddy. Like even the screenshot that he shared of Macron and others. I forget which other screenshots he leaked. they were buddies. Like, I think Macron's message starts by saying "my friend" or "hey friend" or something like that. They are like that, but then of course, even within that friendship, they still will be shocked and surprised to be treated this way. I'm pretty sure they did not see this coming, in at least some of them, because they are in total shock. Jekyll said, "It's true, Trump is scared of Putin." That's what's his giving. Scared or highly admire. He highly admire him. He wishes he could be him, kind of thing. General said, "Trump, I was talking to Emmanuel and he told me, no, I will not do that in his broken English." And Trump said, "Stop lying." Jekyll said, "Putin is a real gangster. He is in that Tupac and Biggie type of life." His walk should tell you a lot about Putin. Like, have you ever watched him walk? Go look it up. Go look up how he walks. Brian, oh, you're giving us context, I'm assuming. The Peace Prize is awarded by the Norwegian Nobel Committee, an independent 5-member body appointed by the Norwegian parliament. Exactly. That's what the prime minister is trying to tell Trump. I don't have a say, please, like, because he is so angry at him for not giving him this Nobel Peace Prize. Like, how does he think that he's going to get this Peace Prize? By bullying others? Beats me. I do not know. Anyways, fam, I'm seeing a lot of your comments. I can't address them all, but hey Brogu, I'm having a wonderful day for sure. Yes, fam. Yeah, so that's what's happening. We are enjoying getting our popcorns and watching what is going on with this world leaders. And we'll continue to watch. If there's anything juicy tomorrow, I will come back with more. I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed. Bye.